The other writer's mind out here is, how did you get your book published?
I actually self-published.
You did a self-publishing.
Now, that wasn't initially what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go the traditional route because I didn't know anything about the business.
Mm-hmm.
I knew nothing about publishing a book. So I wanted to learn the business from doing the traditional thing and then eventually delve into self-publishing. But it didn't work out that way. After sending out, anybody who's, querying agents and, editors now knows that it's a, an arduous process. Is very, it can be daunting.
Mm-hmm.
It can be disappointing, everything. So after about 6 months of me getting either no response or rejections, we're not looking for that type of story right now, that kind of thing, eventually I just said, you know what, I can do it myself. I'd rather, have total autonomy over the story. I can do whatever I want, have the cover look the way I want, everything. So that's how I got into that. It actually worked out a lot better for me.
Yeah, I was actually impressed when I got the package because I thought you self-published, and then I got it, and I was like, oh no, I didn't think you did it after I saw everything because you had these, professional-looking bookmarks, and the book cover was just it was all so nice. So,
thank you.
Yeah, I was very impressed. So I see that I guess you're selling the book on Amazon. Is that's all still done by you? You don't have like a agent or anything like that?
No agent. Actually, I was on Amazon and sent, some of the bookstores. If the bookstore doesn't have it, I do have distribution, so if they don't have it, you can have them order it.
Okay.
I sell it on my website also, fullcirclepub.com. I sell it for $10. I just had to get that in there, and it's autographed, free shipping. Let's see. Oh no, I have no agent. I did when I first started. I got Nakia Murray from Literary Consultant Group, and she does like PR and everything. So she really helped. She was a huge help. She helped me with distribution. Told me the steps that I had to take as far as like getting my name out there and where I should list my book, and just took it from there. So anybody who thinks she's still in the business, literaryconsultantgroup.com, had to throw a little plug there. She's great, Nakia Murray. So she helped me out a lot.
Okay, so when you, I guess to people who don't understand, explain I guess in a nutshell, in the self-publishing process, just so we'll have an idea.
Okay. Self-publishing, let's see, first thing I'll recommend anybody do is get the self-publishing manual by, I feel so stupid because, it's like the self-publishing Bible, honestly, and I cannot remember his name for the life of me. But it's sold everywhere, any bookstore, Borders, that kind of bookstore, Borders, Barnes & Noble. It's called the Self-Publishing Manual. I believe it's a red and gold cover. I'm so mad I can't remember his name, and I'm looking on my bookshelf now to see if I can pick it up, put my hands on it.
That's okay. Anyway, I can look it up for you.
That will give you step by step everything you need to do. But, I can't give you just like a general overview. First thing you want to do, definitely get a good editor. I'm going to say this, my book, as much as I love the story, and I've gotten a lot of great reviews on it, the thing that stands out to me that I hate about my book is that I rushed it because I could have gotten another round of edits. And it's like a bunch of stupid little mistakes, like she instead of he, or, double letters, things like that. So I would definitely make sure that you invest in a great editor. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can go to, you can get a graduate student, someone who needs, the experience or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Pay them a few bucks and have them look over. You can get book clubs. That's a great idea also. You can go to some of your local book clubs. They're, always willing to read, something new and whatever, and they'll give you their feedback and, maybe even help you edit. Let's see, what else? You have to do all the copyright stuff. You have to do everything that a normal publisher would do, which is kind of a pain because, it depends on the type of person I should say. Some people like all the little monotonous and tedious things. I don't. But, you kind of have to do it to get it done. The copyright, darn it, I can't think of anything. What do you call it? Copywriting. You have to get, the Library of Congress number, everything is on you. You're going to put out a lot more money, up front, but you're going to get a lot more back in the end. If you go the traditional route with publishing, the publisher, everybody gets paid before you, essentially. And you don't get that big of a cut off of your book. And if you get an advance, you don't make any money until, you make that advance back. So if you do self-publish, be prepared for a lot of hard work. Money coming out of your pocket, but, the end result is a lot better. You'll have total control. Let's see, marketing. You want to make sure that you get your name out there. Use Twitter, use MySpace, use Facebook, everything that you can. Do all the free stuff first. get out to the book clubs and things like that. And a lot of the blog talk radio shows, you know, they interview you for free and they'll post your book up on their site. So that's free advertising right there. You know, just think of all the ways that you don't have to spend money before you start putting money out. Let's see, what else? Printing. It's another thing you have to, that's probably going to be your biggest cost except for marketing. You want to make sure you get a good printer. You want to have a good product on your hands. You don't want to have, you know, kind of like some of the books you see nowadays look like they were just thrown together last night and just tossed out. You know, like, here, read this. You know, kind of almost like they're in a binder.
Yeah.
You know, just trying to think. I'm going to make sure I just covered the whole general, you know, I guess me trying to go through step by step is going to be forever. All I can think of off the top of my head, make sure you get a good editor. That's number one. You don't want people, you don't want your reviews to be messed up by them saying that, you know, that normally the first thing people notice is, you know, your grammar is horrible and the story is not great. You know, you want to make sure that there's a lot of consistency, you know, the story is consistent with itself. Like, there's, you know, the continuity is great. Those types of things, trying to think of anything else. If you can, like, throw some things out there that maybe you may have seen, or,
I didn't, I guess I was so into the story that I didn't really notice a lot of, I mean, it may have been something here or there, but I guess the story to me stood out more than the editing mistakes, but
that's good.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was up, I think, one night until like 2 a.m. reading, and I had to go to work the next day, and I knew that was probably a little crazy because I was sleepy, but it was a really good story, and I couldn't put it down. So, yeah, it was good.
Thank you so much. I'm glad the edits didn't stand out to you. But, you know, it's different. I guess when it's like your baby, you notice every little thing wrong with it. So
you do, yeah.
But I'm happy that you like that. I really am. Thank you so much.
No problem. So is that pretty much the whole process there with the self-publishing?
Pretty much in a nutshell, yes. Trying to think of that is, I mean, you know, there's some little steps in between or whatever, but those are the main things. You definitely need to get your name out there first and foremost, even before you have a printed product. I would say once, you know, you're definitely sure you're going to have, you know, you're going to put together your project and have a completed book, you want to make sure you're getting your name out there already. Like, visit some of the groups. Like, there's a lot of tons of online like book clubs and reading groups and things like that. So you want to get it out there as soon as you get your cover. You know, you want to post it up everywhere that you can. You know, do as many book reviews as you can. That's like the number one thing I would say, aside from editing, is getting recognition. You know, you can write a book and it can be great, but if no one knows who you are, then, you know, what good is it on you? So just like with anything else, I mean, the best way I can look at it or say you put it is, you know, everyone in the world knows about Pepsi. You know, but it doesn't stop them from putting commercials on. You know, you still have to market yourself. You know, even if your entire city knows about you, you know, you want to expand, you have to make sure that you get your name out there. So,
very true.
That's the number one.